And then when I go to here, starting.
Killing
Okay. Well, maybe this is working. I don't know. Anyone out there? If you are, let me know if you can hear me. Or we'll see if this chat is actually correct.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
Looks like. Oh,
hey.
Hey.
Good. It sounds good.
Can you guys hear okay? That sounds good, loud and clear. Cool. It's first time doing this, so we're just kind of pushing buttons and hoping everything works right. So, wow, people are showing up. That's cool. Really cool. We were worried. It might just be the two of us talking to each other all night. So
we do that all the time anyway.
Wow. Hello, Central Florida.
Yeah.
All right, guys, loud and clear. Cool. Jacksonville, Vancouver. Hey, great. Hi from Vancouver.
Mike, Bob. Brandon,
where's the next trip?
Michigan.
Yeah, I don't even know yet. We were thinking of going north, but we like it so much down here in the south that we may actually just make it south again next year and just keep going further. Wow, there's Cincinnati. Wow, hi guys watching. Cool. I can't read this fast. UK, cool. Fort Myers, UK in the house. London in the house.
John,
Indiana.
Rocky.
Hey, wow.
AP, Heidi.
Cool. Well, we are, how's the weather? I was going to say, we are here in St. Augustine right now. I know if you're following our videos, I think we're anchored out in Alligator. Obviously, I don't edit as quick as I pilot the boat. So we're doing like 2 videos or a video every 2 weeks while we're on the road. And then when we get back, we have footage galore. We're shooting a lot more footage this year than we did last year. So we'll see, you'll see a lot more videos to come. There's a bird behind us. That's Cleo. That's Cleo. You hear her in some of our videos.
Speaking of lots of rain today, Bob, when I was grabbing the mooring ball, it was like a massive windstorm. I caught it just in time.
Oh yeah, just blew everything all over the place. So, we're moored here in St. Augustine. We were anchored. I mean, we were in the slip, but we moored out because we're going to be here about 10 days, and we're doing some traveling. So we just figured we'd tie up to a ball.
Let's see if it can.
Flooded out in Delaware. Yeah, here in Pennsylvania, it's been raining a lot too, where we're from. That's what we hear anyway. Mm-hmm. Old Hickory Lake. Wow, somewhere in Florida, Tennessee. Wow.
That's
Dave Thomas, cheers.
We always have that.
Yeah, there's always a martini. They're not usually in my videos, but they're off screen someplace.
It's always a priority. Thanks, Mike. We always have fun.
Yeah.
Even when we're not.
So if you've been following our Facebook, you know that we just recently got back from the Bahamas. Then, we were going to head back to Philly. We decided to make a left at Florida, and we ended up in the Keys for a couple of weeks. We are now finally on our way back to Philadelphia, and we stopped off here in St. Augustine for a couple of weeks.
Hey, my name is Eduardo.
Miami, Louisiana. Wow, it's so cool that all you people are. Yeah, it's great. It's great to talk to people too once in a while because I'm actually always talking to Lynn or she's talking to me holding a camera. That's all we ever actually see or communicate with.
Yeah.
Does our bird know any curse words? Yeah, I think 1 or 2. The bird, it's young. It just started to speak. It's only 1.5 years old. It knows to say that I'm a pirate. I'm a captain. What else is this? Bird says a lot of things, but
sir and clear.
Yeah. It mimics. The problem with the boat recently the bird recently is that it has mimicked the alarms on my boat. So that I think there's an alarm going off, but it's really the bird doing the alarm, and then the bird does clear in Lynn's voice, which is what she says when all my lines are off. So
I'm always like, you can tell the difference between me and Cleo, right? I mean, it's not clear.
Yeah, Well, the bird trolls us all the time is what it's doing right now. The fuel problem. I guess you're talking about the fuel problem with the generator, which I have not cured yet. We've done a bunch of different things, and eventually we found out there was a clog in the line feeding it somewhere, and I could not find it. I didn't have time to rip up the floorboards and trace it, so I ran a temporary fuel line from the generator through a Raycor and into our auxiliary tank. which holds about 100 gallons. So we can get about 10 days worth of generator time if we fill up the auxiliary tank. And there's going to be a video of that coming too. You'll see where we kind of solve the problem.
Maryland, we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be in Annapolis soon, and I think we're at Port Charles. We're going to start Cape Charles.
Yeah.
About what we like about our boat. Gee, I like everything about this boat. I wish the only thing I think start with things I don't like. I wish the engines were smaller. I really don't need 8V92s on this thing because all we ever do is 10 knots.
Yeah,
they can be half the size and save me half the fuel, and they run great and all that. I'll probably keep them until they die. But I do. If I had a choice, I would have taken tроller style engines on this boat, and that's about the only thing I don't like about it. Oh, and the toilets, the heads.
Oh, the toilets.
Yeah, I don't like the heads. That's probably my big expense. I think. Yeah. They're 1970s technology, and they work. But I'm always changing stators and things like that. So I think if I'm going to invest any money in the near future, it might be to replace some of the heads or all of the heads.
Yeah.
I know Philly's getting killed a frame. That's what I keep hearing. We got hit pretty hard at our house. We live next to a farm. The farm was practically underwater. My kid's been telling me about it. St. Augustine, my son lived now.
Yeah, 30. He's got a 32
on Lake Erie. Yeah, Lake Erie. We'll be there someday. We're going to go up to the Great Lakes. So maybe not next year, maybe the year after, but it's definitely on our goal. We'd love to do the Great Loop, but then we hear the bridge in Chicago is only 19 feet. We really can't do that, although I might be able to if we take off our radar array and the antennas off the top. We may be able to squeeze under that bridge.
Yeah, I bet you the Delaware Wayne is probably full of logs. It's going to be a ditch. Yeah. It's going to be like a game going up there.
Like an obstacle course on the way back. Isn't that 70s high tech, huh?
That's funny, Big T.
Yeah. I don't know if you see, we have a video coming up where I finally pulled out all the old electronics. Not all of it, but most. I kept a Furuno because a Furuno is working for us for radar. But we put in some new tablets and things. I'm going to have a video coming up on that shortly. But you'll start seeing it in the background of us goofing around with things and pulling things out.
Oh, yeah, Cape Fear. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, we've been there a couple times.
Yeah, it's fun there. Yeah.
Yes, we
you got
have,
so many
Richard.
Competing currents, and it's all over the place. You don't know what's really going on. So I understand why they call it Cape Fear.
Yeah.
But we actually like that area. We stayed. Where's that? There's a marina just south of Cape Fear. I can't think of the name of it, but we've stayed there a few times. Ron, we can't go to Bermuda because we don't have the range. Bermuda is roughly 1,000 miles off the coast of the eastern shoreboard, and we have about a 500-mile range. So unless we did something with fuel or
bladders,
engines,
or I don't even know if that would do it. We do have 3 fuel tanks on this boat, though, which is odd.
They converted over one of the holding tanks to a fuel tank. That's why we have this 100-gallon auxiliary tank. Mm-hmm. So we hold, I think it's 850, 875 total, but that's still not enough to get us anywhere close to Bermuda anyway. But we can always go up around to, the northern areas, Canada, Nova Scotia.
Hey, Maine. Jason from Maine. Cool. So there's 2 different passages we can take in Chicago.
Oh. I don't know. I just heard what people told me that there's a 19-foot bridge. Maybe there's a way. I know a lot of sailboats have to take off their mast and then have it shipped down the Mississippi and then pick it back up down in New Orleans. But, the canal through the West Coast, I think that's eventually going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen for a few years for us to go through the Panama Canal because there's so many other places we still can visit in the Caribbean. I think we'll be occupied with the Caribbean and the Northern Atlantic for a while before we try the West Coast.
And Sean asked if we would consider shipping our trawler to Europe. There's a real funny joke about that.
Well, we know people who have. It's not cheap. The one guy we know has a boat similar in size. It costs about $60,000 to ship the boat over. And I think before I do that, I would probably just
go there
rent a boat over there. Yeah, do a bareback charter over there and save the money. Either that or one of these days we'd love to get rid of the engines and put electric engines in or something like that that'll give us the range that we need. Because the boat's really good in the blue water. We've had her in some rough seas before and she handles well. I think we can do the Atlantic, the boat itself. It's just not having the range.
What about
Single engine running? I don't know. I mean, I heard people do it and you lock off your shaft so you're not spinning your prop on the engine that's not working, so you don't overheat the transmission. I've heard about people doing that. I haven't researched it enough, but that's interesting. You could close to double your range, I suppose, because I know once I'm underway, I think cutting one engine doesn't do a lot. When we had the engine or the prop problem last year, I ran on one engine for about 20 miles and, really wasn't bad at all. Just had the rudder off to the side a little bit.
And Craig, we did not sell the other boat yet. We weren't pushing it real hard. But I think we're gonna, because it's a lot to take care of two boats.
The other boat,
and clean them.
We put it on the market real briefly, and then we decided to take it off because my son had recommended that we rent it out as a rental property. We had it in the city, and I said, well, okay, well, let me try that. We put it on Airbnb and things like that. We decided to just rent it while we were going to sell it, and it rents out all the time. It's rented out every weekend, most weekdays, and it makes us money. So,
and Eduardo, you are right. There are so many places to go in the Bahamas. We only did halfway down the Exumas, and I really wish we had more time there, but we didn't.
We next time I think we'll spend more.
Gorgeous.
But we did spend about 2 weeks. We spent in the Bahamas.
There's no one there.
Yeah, down in the Exumas area.
NASA is crazy, and Portland is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's a long way away.
Yeah.
That'll take us a bit of time to get to Portland, that's for sure. Need a Fleming? Hey, I love Flemings, but I like my Hatteras too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I see. Titanic. Yeah, that's what I mean. You have to lock off the shaft, otherwise, you'll burn up your transmission. I don't know. I have to look into it more. Maybe it's a possibility. I mean, I'm spending a fortune on fuel going back and up and down the coast, so I mean, it's something to look into, I guess.
And Brandon, you're right. The Hatteras boats are tanks. It's a lot different ride than the Carver in the water. The Carver, you can feel a lot of the waves more, and this thing just right through.
And Lloyd said it's 19 foot 3 inches in the bridge in Chicago. And people do their arch. That's what I was. Well, see, we can't take our arch off because if you notice, we have a hard top on the fly bridge, so we can't lower our arch. But I could probably take the antennas off it. That might give me the drop us down as much as I need.
I don't know if Alaska's in our plans later. That's cold up there, right?
If we found someone to replace the isinglass, no, we haven't even tried yet. What it is we always take it off once we get about to the Annapolis area anyway, and then we just leave it off until October. So we haven't really given it any thought. We have it rolled up in my closet, but we're going to have to fix it. We do need it in the winter, so sometime in the next couple of months, I'll really look into it.
That's a good idea, Brandon. That's a good idea.
Boatbound, Captain Reynolds. No, I never heard of Boatbound. But like I said, what's happening now is our marina is not going to allow us to rent our boat out there anymore. What happened? I'll give the short story. Is in Philadelphia, there used to be 3 marinas, 3 or 4. One of the big ones just closed. Now there's not enough slips to go around. So the people who still have the slips are being tougher about who they're renting them to. And now they're telling us we can't Airbnb our boat anymore. We can't rent it out. So we're going to put it back on the market. I haven't done it yet. Anyone who's looking for a Carver, she's a great boat. I love her. You can watch videos and learn all about her. Once I'll sell her a lot cheaper. If I have to put her on the market with a dealer, then of course I'm going to have to pay the broker 10%. So if you're interested, call me in the next couple of weeks before I get back to Philly, because when I get back to Philly, I think I'm going to list her, as much as I don't want to.
Alaska's Cleo's her name. She's 1.5 years old, so. She's our second Congo African gray.
Someone saying the insurance will cover the isinglass. I suppose it would. I don't know.
We're afraid they're going to raise it on us, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll look into what it costs to have it replaced first. I mean, I don't want to see. It's not a lot of companies insure older boats like this, and I don't want to lose my company, but I'll see. If it was big damage, I would definitely do it. But I think hopefully I can get them fixed for less than $2,000. Did you plan to change your batteries over to the Battleborn? I'm not sure what that means, but our batteries in the boat are about 2 years old, so we're hoping to get some more life out of them.
Yeah.
Looking at a mid-80s, 63 and 70, would love to pick your brain on things to look for. Did surveys on 2 boats that failed already. Wow.
Jason Nitzbaka.
Yeah. Was that the secret or something?
No.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, if you're looking, I mean, I don't know a lot about boats. You guys know we've been doing this for, I think this is our 4th year. So, I mean, I know my Hatteras well, and I know my Carver well. Uh, we don't have, years of experience, but we do tend to have mileage experience. I mean, we're looking at close to, after this season, we'll put close to 10,000 miles on the water, both of us. So we're thinking of getting the sparrow tattoos, Just kidding. We don't know. Maybe we will. Who knows?
With a Sharpie.
Yeah, Sharpie. Draw a sparrow. That's what I hear. You get a sparrow every 5,000.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Brand name. Okay.
Battery. Okay. Yeah.
Well.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Thank you, Dale.
Yeah.
We're learning all the time.
Yeah, I did want to get around the Biscayne Bay. Cito got me.
And
you clarify. So, okay. Yeah, it's funny. We ran aground, and Cito. I mean, they got us out. They did a good job. The only problem I had was I called the wrong company. We're insured through Geico with Boat US, which is handled by Geico, and Geico requires that you use their tower. Boat US tow. Whatever
we didn't know that.
I didn't know, so I called Cito. That's a name that popped the mind, and then it turned out I wasn't covered, so it kind of was a bummer. So I have nothing bad to say about Cito. I just, I called the wrong company at the time for my insurance.
But I think he kind of knew that when he was asking about your insurance, and you said whatever, and he was like, whatever.
Insurance.
Thanks, Jim.
Everything. I thought about the Great Loop. Yeah, I think you came in late. Yes, we would love to do the Great Loop.
Our boat's just a wee bit too tall for that one bridge. Yeah. And yeah. Hey, Australia. Mr. Mimi.
What's our training experience before getting the yacht? Absolutely nothing. I mean, we bought the Carver, and I hired a captain to bring it from the Jersey Shore over to the Philadelphia area for us. And with the plan that I was going to hire a captain to teach us how to use the boat. And it was early in the season, and the guy brought the boat around for us, and he docked it there, and it was an empty marina except for maybe 2 other boats. And one day, Lynn and I were sitting around like this, drinking a martini and a glass of wine, and we hear bang, and we turn around, and there's this guy in a boat, and he just smashed into the dock about 3 down from us. I was like, wow, that's weird. And then a couple minutes later, we hear smack again, and I was like, this guy's a genius. There's nobody in this marina. We can just practice here all day long.
And I was like, no, you're not.
And there's no one to laugh at me as I hit things.
Oh, man.
So that's what we did. Came back the next day. I'm like, we're going to practice. I practiced docking. I practiced turning around. And I think like 3 days later, we're like, hell, let's go to Annapolis. So that's what we did. So that's our formal training. Brazil. 3 days in an empty marina, and then we just went for it.
Jared, we have a good friend in Brazil, Tatiana.
There's drop-in replacement lithium. Well, that would be good. Yeah, I know we should get AIS. Is that Brandon? We were trying to do it before we left. It was like one of those things on the list, 52. And we just never got around to doing it. It would have been helpful. It's not needed, but it would have been nice to have. So we'll have it for next year, I'm sure. It's going to be like one of our winter projects, I guess.
Brandon, I totally agree with you on the AIS. We thought this boat would have it. I mean, why wouldn't it? And we couldn't find anything. So it is on the list.
Okay. So aside from boating as an entrepreneur, I saw your video, you're a tax business. Okay. How much experience did I have before branching into my own? Well, none. Kind of like boating. I've owned businesses before. We owned a photography company for years. My first business was repairing Atari video games in the early. Another business that will be, wait, did we just go out? Reconnection successful. Hey, can you guys still hear us? Yeah, it was very smooth. We planned it right. And a lot of people had me afraid of, crossing. You see these stories, and you better wait for the right window. And then the captain who ran this boat before me, the guy their hired captain, he goes, "You're in a Hatteras, just go for it, as long as the weather's not terrible." So we did, and we just crossed. I had rougher water in the Chesapeake Bay than I did out there. And then on the way back, it was smooth as glass. So I'm not recommending go when you have a north wind or something like that, but it was easy.
And we couldn't even tell on our way back. It was so smooth. We were so lucky with the winds that we were like, "Are we in the Gulf Stream?" We couldn't even tell we were.
Yeah, it was so smooth.
Nice.
Someone said, would I list it? If we list the Carver, I'll probably list it at 55. If somebody buys it before I list it, I'll probably sell it for 40. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes, we did, David. We did run into other YouTubes. The Mystic we ran into.
MP Mystic.
Yeah.
I think that was it. I don't know if we ran into other YouTubers. We run into a lot of people who recognize us, surprisingly.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that's always fun.
I think it's fun
if you recognize it, say hi, because it makes us smile. It's really cool to meet people.
It's nice to talk to you.
Half the reason we do this is just go out and meet people. We love sitting at a bar and meeting the people next to us and talking about their adventures and what we're doing. And
I agree,
cool.
Ken. Ken just said there's 147 people watching and only 31 likes. What? He said, hit that like button.
Yeah, did you hear that, Sarah Jane Hart? I know you're out there. I see. Hit that like button.
Yeah, cheers, David. Cheers. We do have a weird issue now.
What's that?
This is one of Ed's favorite things that he wasn't going to get fixed when we got the boat, but it's our autopilot. Yeah. And it's moving off 10 degrees.
Well, our autopilot's always worked great, but all of a sudden we're zigzagging, and for no reason. Not like, not by the following sea or something. It always fights with that.
Thank you.
But just zigzagging for no reason. I'll figure it out, but I think I just got to take it back out in the ocean and calibrate it. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see. You'll see it in a video. You'll see me bitching about the autopilot.
Right.
Yeah, is handling a 58 easy enough with just the two of us? Yeah, it is. I don't know that I go much bigger than this. Sometimes I think about it, but this is perfectly doable with a husband-wife team.
Right.
Anymore, we used to always worry about whether we had a dockhand to meet us or, now it's like, we just do what we do. It's like I feel comfortable. She feels comfortable. We're not really good at stern too. You get these marinas where there's no finger piers and you got to just tie up to the pilings. We avoid those. But other than that, you can handle this fine.
Yeah, it was Palm in Bahamas had that.
Hey,
that was crazy.
Yeah, Brandon just mentioned the autopilot, checking the compass. That was the first thing I was going to do when I get out there. And then I thought, did I put something next to it? Here's the problem. I have no idea where the compass is on this boat.
We don't know where anything's at. There was no one to ask.
Yeah,
so we're
I have
searching.
an idea where to look for it, but I haven't seen it. It's not one of those things I cross. So anyway, I was thinking that too. I thought maybe something's sitting on it, or maybe I just need to recalibrate.
Yes, Bob, he does have an autopilot. That's what we're talking about. We're having a little trouble with it now. It goes 10 degrees off, so it's too tight.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what's happening. It's like, we'll be going straight, and then it'll be like 2 degrees this way, and then it'll swing. It'll overcorrect 3 degrees. It overcorrects 4 degrees. Overcorrects 5 degrees. Next thing you know, we're like swinging 10 degrees each way, and I'm like, forget it,
Les, is that for Lester? That's my dad's name. Anyway, Les, he said he had a problem with his autopilot seeking.
Turned out to be the rudder sensor.
Yeah.
Have we left the Bahamas yet? Yes, we're in St. Augustine. We've left the Bahamas a couple weeks ago. We already just spent a week in the Keys and then headed down the coast. We were back around, I don't know, by the 1st, I think we were out of the Bahamas.
I don't know. I think that's one thing about boating, that you do lose what day it is.
Yeah, I always do that. TJ is asking, do we get our captain's license? No, I don't have a captain's license. I'm not. You don't need it unless you're going to do commercial, and hire, have people pay to be on your boat. And we don't plan to do that. I might get my license just for the hell of it, just because I probably should, but you don't need it, and I don't have one. I did take the safety courses and things like that. But.
TJ, that's my brother's name.
What weather app do we use? I use Windy mostly, and I also sign on to the NOAA's website and check theirs as kind of a backup, but mostly I use Windy for weather.
Yeah.
You're rolling here.
Okay.
We have the same bird, 36 years old. Oh, good. Well, if this bird turns 36, I won't be around to see it because this bird's a year and a half. So.
It's going to my son. But like we said, we had another bird, Athena, who was also a Congo African gray, and she just died unexpectedly, and she was 6. And that sucked.
Oh, what kind of autopilot is it? It's a Simrad AP25. It's a little on the older side. It's not like a real high tech one, but it always did a great job. We were perfectly happy with it. I've never tried to use it for routing through the Furunos. but I don't really use it in that manner because I you know, on the ICW, you know, I just kind of turn it on a straight angle as far as I can go, and I turn it again. And when we're out in the ocean, it's usually a straight line for 10 miles and another straight line for 20 miles. So I haven't really needed to use the routing function. But anyway, yeah, it's a Simrad AP25.
Oh, a long as long as you.
Yeah,
we were.
Yeah, we were at Jekyll last year. We were thinking of going there. Someone had recommended a marina there. I haven't written down I forget what it was. We had stayed at Skull Creek last time we were over at Jekyll. And then we anchored out over Cumberland right next door a couple of times. And we love anchoring there, but it is so hard to get in and out without having a nervous breakdown because of all the shoaling. So I don't think I'm going to do it this year on the way back.
There's the other side you can go up to. But anyway.
That meetup at Annapolis Boat Show would be cool because last year at the boat show, I think we ran into like 3 or 4 people who had recognized it would be pretty cool to do that. Yeah. We always go to the Annapolis Boat Show. It's only a 3-hour ride from our house. So.
Whole family goes.
yeah, we bring everyone down. We thought about living on the boat full time. Not really yet. Like you guys know, I'm a tax accountant and I work 3 some months out of the year, and then Lynn usually helps out at the office that time because she's a retired photographer.
It does look like that.
So I have to kind of be at land, at least for now. I probably won't fully retire for maybe 3-4 years yet. And until then, I need a land house for some certain months. And, and Lynn's miss, holiday. She does Thanksgiving, she does Christmas, she does Easter, she does Halloween.
I feed the masses.
Yeah, so the family, we're kind of like the central point, our home house.
And friends, too, because we have a lot of close friends.
It's hard for us to give up the land house. I'd love to, though. It's the land house. You'd think my boating budget's bad. The land house budget's worse. I'd love to get rid of that, and then I can, spend all my money on boating. So.
On this boat, we had Captain Tim take us out a couple times to teach us docking, and there's a real funny story about that because the one engine died, and when he was bringing it in, remember that?
Yeah.
And it was just
a fuel clog, but
great.
But yeah, no, I docked it twice in front of somebody else, and then that was it. After that, it was up to me.
And Bob, we love.
I love Charleston.
South Carolina.
Yeah, we're going to stop there on our way back. We're going to hit Savannah after here for
best
a couple of days.
Fried tomatoes and grits ever.
Yeah, I see A-Long's talking again. Yeah, I heard that channel there by St. Simon's Jekyll. That's probably the way we're going to go. And come in the inlet that's just north of Jekyll. I think that's what we'll be doing. No, we had no draft issues in the Bahamas at all. We were careful. We followed the maps, and you learn to judge the water over there because you can tell by the color of the water how shallow the water will be. It's amazing when it gets really low. It's like neon. And it's really cool. But no, we had no issues at all shoaling. And now we took the tender off our Boston whaler whenever we got close to shore, and we used that to go to shore.
John, yes, it is not cold in the boat because we have it heated, and the heating system that we use this year because with the system we have now that's on the boat, it will turn off when the water reaches about 45.
Yeah, they're heat pumps. So they only work so long. So we have space heaters, electric space heaters. I wired them into the 220 system that would run the heat pumps, so that we just kind of have a switch. We turn off the heat pumps, and then we turn on these outlets, and I plug these 220 rated 2,500 watt space heaters, and they kind of basically take care of the boat.
We took the Carver to Martha's Vineyards. We were going to go to Nantucket, but you know what we thought? We didn't go because everybody said don't go.
Yeah, no, I wish I went though.
So we said,
yeah. So, but yeah, no, we've never taken this up north, but we have taken the Carver, and we do like it up there. It's on the list.
He had a 45. DN52 had a 45. And the engine room.
Bulkhead of the engine room. Yeah, I got to find out what it looks like too. So I'll find that compass eventually. The canvas of the flybridge, it's rolled up in our closet. We'll worry about it when we get back.
We're not even looking at it. Don't even.
Yeah, it's too hot. Hello from the UK. Hi, Terrence from the UK. I think we're behind here on something, right? Oh, Mr. Meme. Hello. One of our more prolific posters on our website there.
Yeah.
I mean, our
How's
on
it?
our YouTube site.
Vlogs.
Uh, the long range cruiser. I didn't really know much about the Hatteras long range cruisers until after I bought the Hatteras, and maybe I would have considered it. But I don't know if you saw the prices on those. They're almost twice
Oh.
the price of a Hatteras, and I mean, I know they're, maybe in retrospect, it would have been a good idea. Maybe I would have saved fuel in the long run.
So
But,
Wayne, checking in and out of the Bahamas, I was so surprised how easy that was. Cleo could have actually came with us.
yeah. I mean, it was pretty easy.
Nobody cared.
I got off the boat myself in Bimini. I checked in, and I just walked about 15 minutes down the road. In fact, I didn't even walk that far because some nice guy picked me up and gave me a ride. And then dropped me off. And I had to go to customs. And I had to go to immigration. Took about 10 minutes in each office. Walked back. That was that. They didn't even inspect the boat. And then in the way back, they have an app now to check back into the United States, and you just do it online. They FaceTime you, and you send them pictures of your passport.
I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, it's just it took us 10 minutes on an app, and we were back in the United States. Is the Carver?
Well, if I would have known that. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Is the Carver seaworthy? Yeah, I mean, I've had her up at Martha's Vineyard. I've had her in 3-footers. I haven't taken her. Probably 3-footers.
Well,
3,
actually,
4.
the beginning of the opening kind of thing of our video when his hair is all blowing in the wind, that's on the Carver.
Yeah, the Carver is good. I mean, I have no problems with it. You know what it is? It's lower to the ground, and there's no windshield wipers or anything, so we have to roll up the isinglass. So that's why I'm wet in that video, because the water splashes over the bow and hits you in the face. Over here, it doesn't usually reach the top, and if it does, I have windshield wipers.
Yeah, but we were nervous about our first trip, but the one thing when you're moving on a boat is you get used to it, just like anything you would do. You get used to it. So it went. Yeah, so you did step on it. I'm only kidding.
Let's see here. How long will we be in town? Well, we're in St. Augustine for another. We're actually going to be here in the marina or for about 10 days because we have some friends picking us up, and we're going to go visit them over in Winter Park, I think. But we're spending a couple more days here. Then when we come back, we're going to spend a couple more days here. So I probably have about 4 or 5 days in the marina and about 4 days out.
And we do not have AIS on the boat. We at least we don't think we do.
No, the reason we say that,
did.
Well, we can't find AIS, and it doesn't seem to work on our Furuno, but there's a little plug on the back where you would plug your AIS in, and there's something plugged into it, and that line goes into oblivion, and I can't trace it. So maybe there's AIS on this boat, and we don't know it, so we're probably just going to buy a unit next year.
Yeah, and she's a poser.
Yeah.
And she just looks like she's sitting on the mountain.
Friend who occasionally cruises for you. Maybe you're talking about Rachel. Rachel cruises with us the first 2 weeks. She always joins us because she makes it easier to come down to Florida quickly. Between the three of us, we can do 48-hour runs, things like that, and she's very handy. So she helps, with the minor repairs and the little things that we need to do when we get underway. So she's joined us the last 2 years. So probably next year as well.
Because I always want 4 eyes when we're doing overnight on the helm. So that's what I. And also my girlfriend, my bestie, and her husband cruised with us this year too.
Yeah, you'll see other people. A lot of people have joined us this year. You'll see through the videos. Heading home, we're good. No, we are heading home, just slowly. Yeah, we'll be there in about a month, I guess.
Slow as possible. I didn't even want to leave.
Bill Henderson, wish you were joining us for a drink too. Sorry, how did you convince Lynn to share your yachting dream with you? My wife prefers 5-star hotel. I don't know. She's always been the type of girl that would, get her hands dirty and help me. We built a house.
What was our first date, too?
Yeah, it was on a boat actually. I took her dad's boat, but Lynn and I, she can be a little prim and proper, but she doesn't mind getting her hands dirty. Her and I built the house that we live in. We built the businesses that we own, So yeah, she'll grab a wrench. So I didn't have to convince Lynn to do this. I think she was just as excited as I was, or even more so.
Yeah, because I never thought in a million years you would do that. But okay, it was cool. Oh, thanks.
Hopefully that actually turned. Okay. Missing an antenna, maybe for the AS, maybe.
Yeah.
Is there a maiden name Meads? No. Love those chatty dudes. These chatty dudes.
Yeah, that's us chatting.
Okay.
We're all chatting.
Runway, thanks. Which island in Bahamas did you go to? Well, we started in Bimini, then we went to Chub Key, Nassau, then we went to the Exumas, mostly Staniel Key and Highborn and someplace else.
What is our range?
Our range safely is, well, about 500 miles. We really never go more than 400 without fuel because she gets paranoid. But, yeah.
But you know why? Because on the car, he's always run out of gas on the car. And I'm like, you cannot run out of gas on this boat.
I ran out of gas a couple times 30 years ago.
Oh, no, a couple of times.
Yeah.
Quite a few times because he wouldn't get gas.
So, yeah, we're about 500, but we usually go about 400 miles.
Which island in the Bahamas Eduardo wants to know did we go?
I just said you weren't. So she
I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. I was
me.
trying to read. I'm sorry.
She never listens to me. Terry. Hey, Mr. Terry, Fort Pierce. Patreon. Cool. Thanks, Patreon.
Yeah, it really, that's really nice because it really helps make us feel good about what we're doing and knowing that people are enjoying our content. Yeah. So thanks, Mr. Terry.
Any larger projects coming up? I don't know. I love changing the heads, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of cosmetic things I'd like to do, but we just get around to it every now and then. Nothing needs to be done on the boat. That's what's nice, other than fixing that fuel problem with the generator. And I think that's the only thing that's acting up right now. Is there anything else I have to do?
The autopilot we have to do.
Oh, you know what? No, you know what I want to do is I want to sell this Boston Whaler. And we want to. It's a pain for the two of us. Me and another guy can bring it up just no problem.
Jerry did good with it.
Yeah, but it's a little bit big for the overkill for what we need. I'd really like to get an inflatable up there with maybe like a 15 horsepower engine. Instead, I've got this Boston Whaler with a 40 horsepower engine, and the thing weighs a ton. Well, maybe not half a ton at least. And it's just a pain. So I think I want to sell that and get something just lighter to put up there. So that'll be a project.
I don't want to pull my back out. It's crappy wine, Quinn. It's Woodbridge. Yeah. That's what I'm left with.
Because she drank all the good stuff. Let's see. Why
are we on 6? Oh, you know why? Because our antennas are down for going under bridges, and for some reason.
Yeah, Barry. Sorry, I wish we heard you because we were on Palm Coast. But when we're going through the bridges, I put the antennas down, and they work, but my range isn't far. Like even when I'm going to hail a bridge, I have to get relatively close. Yeah. So I guess I just didn't hear you.
Hey, did you guys see what Ken said? He said, "Hit the like button, y'all."
Yeah.
That sounds like my brother.
Check the Boston Whaler websites on Facebook. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll sell it, cheap. I or trade it. Somebody have a
Williams jet boat.
Williams jet boat.
I'll have to look into that because I'm looking for light. I don't want to hurt my back.
Yeah, no 4th of July party this year, Mr. Terry. I mean, I'm really disappointed. I think some of my friends are disappointed. But, it's for us to get back, it cuts our trip short. Like right now, we're going to do 4th of July in Savannah. And that means we're still going to have 2-3 weeks on the water still.
I wanted to take it slow. So we're having 4th of July at Market Street in Treasure.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out. My cousin Gary and his fiance are coming to visit us, and so we're gonna be hanging in Savannah. So if anyone's in Savannah on 4th of July, hit us up.
Come to the boat.
Yeah, Mr. Meme, that video. Yeah, my son and I trying to get that boat on was like a cluster or something or another.
But you know what? It worked out better when you and Jerry did because you found a winch.
I found there's an electric winch on board, and I use it. There'll be a video coming up where I found a way to hook up an electric winch and pull it on. It's still a pain in the neck. That's why I want to get a lighter boat. Considering living aboard in Florida coast, mooring out marina. Appreciate comments on how much you've run the generator to power the AC. Well. We don't run the generator all that much, probably about 8 hours a day, maybe 10 when we're anchored. Mostly it's because it's not hooked up to our main tanks now because of this fuel issue we had, and I have it hooked up to the auxiliary, which means I only have 100 gallons. And if I have to anchor out, 5-6 days before I'm getting fuel, I'll run through that 100 gallons. It eats a gallon an hour. So I'll run it out in 4 days if I'm not careful. And and plus it's still sending back the excess fuel to the main tank. So I'm probably only getting maybe 45 minutes a gallon. So we take it easy. Having said that, I love to run it. If you can't tell right now, I'm sweating.
I should open it back
And
up.
it's because I turned the air conditioners off and the generator off because, the air conditioner is noisy. You can't really hear the generator back here. And I just thought it would screw up the sound.
However, in saying that, as far as air conditioning, when you do open up all the windows on the lower level and the scoop, it's really got a nice breeze on the water. It's different than land.
Well, I'm going to open up the back door here and see
Yeah.
if that makes it any better.
Let's see.
No. There apparently is no breeze in St. Augustine today. So where are we at here?
We need this.
Yeah, good inverter. Yeah, I know. We have an inverter, and it's a Outback, and it's a good inverter. It's only putting out 40 volts, though, and I can't figure out why. I've tried different things. I got to take it in or send it in someplace to get it repaired. So I'd love to get it running. And then you're right, I wouldn't have to run the generator all that much.
So David, he lives in Jacksonville and works in Savannah, and he drives 120 miles every day. Why don't you just move to Savannah? Savannah is gorgeous.
It is beautiful.
There's a great meat.
It is a beautiful city. There's a street there that
Jacksonville's nice
it's called
too.
Jones Street, and they call it the most beautiful city in the country, and I think they're right.
Yeah. So what's the fuel issue?
Yeah, sleeve shirt band.
Oh,
You're right. I just got this shirt too, and that's what I said to her. It's long sleeve. I should.
What's your fuel issues?
Wait, let me go down. There's more here. It's midwinter here. Okay, you're not in this part of the country.
Where were you at, Mr. Mimi?
Was there an issue with the rakers and priming in the past? Has that been fixed yet? No, it hasn't. And I still have to prime the engines every morning when I start them up, just the port engine. And I have tried next to everything. I have one thing left to try. I mean, I turn off the valves to the racor in and out. I turn off the valves from the engine for the tanks in and out. And I changed to the other racor. I either have 4 or 5 bad valves on this boat, which is quite possible. But I have an idea that I might just switch the tanks over, switch the whole system that's feeding and taking fuel back from one engine and switch it to the other engine. I probably should have tried this a while ago. I'm going to see if that works. If it doesn't, I'm going to put another valve right before my racor that stops fuel from going back and seeing if that cures it. Okay. It's a minor inconvenience. It takes me a couple of minutes in the morning. And I don't even probably have to do it. I just do it anyway for safety.
We do have some fans on the boat, but I don't think there are 12-volt fans. So that's a good idea.
Yep. Sure.
Thanks,
yes, Mr. Reeves in Australia. Okay, I knew midwinter there. So.
Cold.
No, I don't know that the batteries have enough to run the AC, the marine ACs. But one of the other issues, the reason I really want to have the inverter is that we're only running the generator 8 hours a day. My ice maker's on and off. My ice is freezing together, and we have to keep the refrigerators closed as much as possible so that we're not losing the cold in there. So that's what I really want to have the inverter for, and then I only need to worry about the generator when I want air conditioning, which is generally when I go to bed.
Right. Yeah. So, I'm thinking we should probably get dinner. It's getting late. We gotta get the dinghy out and stuff.
Yeah, we are going to have to wrap it up in a couple of minutes or two. It's oh wow, it's already 6:45. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Now we're actually going to dinner. We're gonna we're moored out here. We're gonna take the small dinghy in and just head over to the town and get into some trouble probably.
I'm looking into solar.
Yeah, solar would be cool too. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You can the fridge run on propane. Not these. These are just regular, kind of household type refrigerators. 110. If you were a muso when you were younger, what sort of music? Mostly kind of like fusion, I'd say jazz fusion. I was kind of into like Dixie Dregs type of music, maybe some like Zappa, Jean-Luc Ponty, that type of stuff. We kind of, and then when I was also in a progressive rock band for a while. Nothing that was ever going to make me money, so but I had a
He
lot.
was
I had a
very
lot of
good
fun.
at it.
Yeah,
He was very good. He
yeah,
went to MI
yeah,
in California. That's when we lived out there together.
I was good. That's software for now. Now I can strum a guitar. It's about it.
But your favorite fans are your kids and me.
Yeah. From Bucks County. Mark, are you from Bucks County too, or oh, you're Monco? Okay, cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, well, that's where I have an
Hungry.
office in Monco over in Willow Grove.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's good to hang out with you too, Clayton.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool being live. This is actually kind of fun. We were really nervous, to tell you the truth. I mean,
I was excited. I was excited.
I was
to meet
excited, but we were
everybody.
nervous. Like,
But I just want to remind everybody, Ken said again, hit the like button.
Yeah.
Because for something, it does something with the algorithms. And y'all, that's how my sister-in-law talks.
Well, we see the Lady K does live all the time, and that's why, like, well, he's doing live a lot. Yeah, let's give it a shot and see if somebody shows up and watches us. So we figured we'd give it a shot. But this is really cool because so many people are chiming in. I mean, we'll try and make this somewhat regular. I don't think we'll be doing it every week, but but maybe we'll check in again, hopefully.
Okay, so we're back on. So we're gonna head out to dinner. And first off, I want to thank everybody for showing up and having a chat with you guys and a drinky. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I promise I'm going to try and get a video out sometime in the next few days. I know people are always asking me where the videos, and it's just hard to edit. We're on the road so much, and we're doing a lot. And honestly, I should probably just stay in one night or two. But we like to go out.
We get enough Patreons, then we can hire someone.
Yeah. But when I get back home, we're going to do a lot of editing because we have so much footage. But right now, we're trying to at least keep pace to get a video out every 2 weeks until we get back, and then we'll start publishing them.
And I also want to thank all of our subscribers that subscribe to us.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It means cool. A lot. It inspires us to keep going and know that you do appreciate our content. And I especially want to thank our Patreons that really give us that extra oomph in the butt.
And if you see us anywhere, say hi. I mean, we really do. And join us for a beer or dinner or something like that where we enjoy meeting people. That's half the reason we do this. So don't be shy. But I guess until next time, I guess.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Notice they blinked.
Class on a boat.
Yeah.
Now, if I can only figure out how to disconnect, I will say goodbye to you guys, and we are out of here.